I met Anil in London for the first time. Till
दिख रहे
is.
थे उन्होंने या इनविजिबल थे जब भी?
No, he was very much visible. I am not ashamed to say that yes, I worked at a gas station. I delivered newspapers. I really worked as a waiter at a restaurant taking the orders. Success is not easy. And what people see right now is, oh, Rafi साहब के पास पैसा है. Risk लेने से risk आता है. Are you crazy? Who quits a job of $500,000? You have a house, you have kids are going to school. I grew this company from $3 million to $100 million in over 5 years. Did over 500 crores of business in one weekend. American dream is no longer available for immigrants or especially for the students who are going abroad. Chances of that happening now are 0 to nil. Measure twice, cut once. As shameful as it is in this country, it is still very prevalent. See, the only place and time that I'm going to rest is when I die and go to my grave.
Rafi sir, welcome to the table of wisdom.
Thank you so much.
Sir, आपने कहा कि the realization of the need of a common man to own a dream home has been the genesis behind the formation of Dream India Group. मैं आपकी वीडियो में से लाइन चोरी कर लिया समझिए थे बट मैं जब ये सुना तो जो वर्ड है रियलाइजेशन, मैं सोचा कि हाउ वर यू एबल टू कम अप विद दिस रियलाइजेशन?
Very interesting question. Actually, yes, I have said this many times during my interviews or whenever I'm up on the stage. I think the realization came from my own personal need. If you go back 35 years in my life, when I was growing up, I didn't have a house of my own. तो जब मैं कमाने बाहर निकला तो मेरी मम्मी का एक ही वर्ड था, बेटा एक अपने लिए घर बना लेना. So I think while I was struggling, in Middle East and in America, I really was struggling to get my first house, and it was a very long journey. And I think that is how I realized that most of the Indians or most of the younger generation today don't own a house, and that is how the genesis of Dream India happened.
सर, जब आपके पास घर नहीं था खुद का तो क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स फेस करते थे आप?
Well, see, I think every ordinary person, every ordinary man needs to have a house. The first and the foremost ख्वाब जो होता है लोगों का,
रोटी कपड़ा मकान,
right? रोटी और कपड़े का तो इंतज़ाम हो जाता है, आदमी मेहनत करता है उसके लिए. बट मकान इज़ समथिंग दैट इज़ वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट टू अचीव. किराए के घर में रहना, फिर यहाँ से वहाँ खाली करना, मूव होना, it becomes a very difficult endeavor for the entire family. I think that is the main idea where I said, this is something that we need to work on.
And also sir, I think कि घर अगर आए दिन बदलना पड़ रहा है या किसी भी वजह से, तो एक प्रॉपर आपका परमानेंट एड्रेस नहीं रहा है, उसमें ग्रोथ भी बहुत ज़्यादा स्टैग्नेंट रहती है, इंसान सोच नहीं सकता, राइट? एक मेंटल पीस ज़रूरी है. अगर एक परमानेंट एड्रेस हो तो मेंटल पीस होता है घर इंसान के पास.
Definitely, because like I said, like you said, कि रोटी कपड़ा और मकान, ये तीन चीज़ अगर आपके पास confirmed है and it is taken care of, then you will be able to struggle and make a living, progress in life, because these are the basic things you need. अगर आपके पास basic तीन चीज़ों में you are struggling for survival, then I think it becomes difficult to climb the ladder of your next success or where you want to go. I think that is why I think these three things are very important. And घर again उसमें जो है बहुत it is the most expensive thing, how to build the house. Once it is taken care of, I think it is easy to reach the next step of your life.
Absolutely, इसलिए शायद आपके वालदा बोले थे कि पहले घर बनाओ.
Yes, absolutely.
तो जब आप पढ़ाई कर रहे थे तब आपको तब से ही था कि मेरे को बाहर जाना है, घर बनाना है?
Well, बाहर जाने का सपना तो था, because I saw at that time the opportunities in India were very few, especially for our community, and also the money that I wanted to make was lot more. ठीक है?
Why?
Because I think every man wants to make money, right? Because your needs are exponential. So I think going abroad was the right thing to do, because 30 years back, the opportunities in India in terms of business and also in terms of jobs were not as many as they are right now in the market. I think that is the reason I wanted to go abroad and make more money and support my family.
Responsibilities क्या क्या थे सर आपके?
family, taking care of my brothers and sisters, my house, and to build a house.
अच्छा, आप सबसे बड़े थे।
Yes, I'm the eldest in the family.
हाँ, तो आप कोई बिजनेस के इरादे से नहीं गए थे बाहर,
नहीं,
पढ़ाई के इरादे से गए थे?
नहीं,
Then what happened?
no, actually, I went for a job.
अच्छा।
I started my career in Saudi Arabia back in 96, 97. My first job was for 1,500 riyals per month. Very struggling period. I think at that time, you could still say it was a decent amount of money. But very soon I realized that this is not what I'm made to do. Then I moved to America from there. Then I did my MBA. Then went on to do different things. And that's how this whole thing happened.
Why did you make a decision to move to America when you were earning relatively good in Saudi?
Well, see, 30 years back, I would say America is the land of opportunities.
Do you believe that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know if I believe the same right now, 30 years later, but still at that time, America is the land of opportunities. And I could say I'm the perfect example of that. I created my own opportunities. I went and I started working. I got my MBA from Fordham in finance and marketing and worked for multinational healthcare companies as the vice president of the group. Then I realized I want to move back to India.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm asking this question for the sake of those students जो अभी exactly वो फेज में है जहाँ पे वो लोग बाहर हैं, कमा रहे हैं, odd jobs कर रहे हैं, जो भी है, घर पे भी पैसे भेज रहे हैं. How were you able to navigate your way? इतनी हायरार्की में इतनी ऊपर आ गए आप? How were you able to do that, sir? Was it because of your charm or personality? What was that?
Well, see, I think charm and personality do play a role, I think, but you have to be smart enough. I think America has a lot of opportunities or had a lot of opportunities. But right now, I don't think the political situations in US allow the students nowadays to, get settled in America. There are no opportunities to convert your student visa to H1 or then get a green card. So that American dream is no longer available for immigrants or especially for the students who are going abroad. I get a lot of calls from my friends whose children have gone abroad and they are going through a lot of problems. Dekho, odd jobs karke aap survive kar rahe ho, that is definitely okay until you get your degree. But what are your long-term goals, right? And most of our people, they want to go and settle in America. I think the chances of that happening now are 0 to nil. Unless some miracle happens. The H-1B or the green card situation right now is terrible. People have been waiting for their green cards for last 25, 30 years, or at least 20 years, that people I know of. And if they apply now for the green card, they don't get the green cards at least in the next 30 years. So if there is no legal pathway to get a job or get a job visa, then what is the point of going to America? This country right now is booming. The opportunities here are endless, right? I recommend a lot of these people who are, who got their degrees to come back and do something in this market, in this country, make India great.
Tell me about this. How was it different? आपके ज़माने में जो अमेरिकन ड्रीम की हम जो बात कर रहे थे, आपके दौर में कैसा था वो?
Well, see, the political scenarios were different. Immigrants, especially Indians, were looked in a different way, educated, hardworking. And then at that time, there were legal pathways for you to convert your student visas to H1. And then once you get your H1, there was an opportunity for you to apply for green card. So that is the pathway I took. And it was not that difficult. It was difficult, but then, you still have to struggle. Then I was successful. I got my green cards. 2 of my 3 kids were born in America. I bought a house. I had cars. I had a job. I was living an American dream.
You have to tell me this. Story सुनाइए. ये क्या हो रहा है आखिर यहाँ पे? आप स्टूडेंट गए, इतनी ऊपर तक कैसे आ गए? बताइए. Please, step by step.
Actually, I didn't go on a student visa. I went to
job.
Job.
I'm sorry.
No, not even job. I was working in anesthesia in Middle East. I was an anesthesia technologist. I come from a healthcare background. Almost 15 to 18 years of my life has been in healthcare. Yeah. So I went there and I got my certification as an anesthesia technologist.
My father is anesthesian technologist too. I'm amazed कि आप भी
really we probably went to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, वो उनका ज़माना था.
Yeah. But see, Saudi did not have opportunities to grow. stagnation is something that I hate in life. So I moved to America and I got my certification. Then I started working in corporate healthcare. I went to this company called Somnia Anesthesia, where I started working as a supervisor for anesthesia. I think it was my dedication. I became manager in 6 months. Then in 2 years, I became the director of healthcare division. And then in 3 years, I became the president of the company. The company was doing $3 million in business. Then I took over the entire business development of the company. There were 700 physicians who were reporting directly to me. And I grew this company from $3 million to $100 million in over 5 years. And during that time, my personal goals and my personal dreams were also fulfilled. I was making a decent amount of money. 1% of the Americans at that time made over $100,000 a year. And I found myself making over $500,000 within 5 years.
And you're doing this coming from a middle class background who have never experienced wealth of this sort.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, my beginning was humble. Started with 1,500 reals as my salary.
What made you push this hard, sir?
Patience, persistence, perseverance, I think are three things, traits that I developed over a period of, last 30 years. Never be comfortable in life. I could have been very comfortable when I was making $500,000. I was living American dream. Like I said, only 1% of Americans make over $100,000. And if I'm making $500,000, that should give me, a lot of comfort. Become lackadaisical, chalo theek hai, ab kama rahe hain. But that's not enough. You have to understand. I think the first and foremost thing that we have to understand is what are you bound to do? What are you born to do? Right? What is your goal? Money, success, or you want to create something bigger and better? What are you going to leave behind? And then I have 3 kids, and I also wanted to be a model for my children. And I think that has worked out well. All my 3 kids are, struggling, striving, surviving. At some point, when people leave India and go abroad, whether it is Middle East, most of the people who go to America, UK, they don't want to come back. Because at some point, see, हमारा सबका मकसद ये होता है कि हम पैसा कमाने जाते हैं. जैसे अमेरिका में लैंड होते हैं, फर्स्ट थिंग दैट वी नो और वी वांट इज अ ग्रीन कार्ड. ये आ गए तो यहीं रहना है, right? Then you buy a house, and then you become so busy in your life that you don't think of going back. My heart was always back in India. My parents were here. My parents used to come to America at least twice a year, but they never liked living there. It was very difficult for them to travel. My brothers and sisters were here. So when my family is here, just making money, being away from them was not something that was satisfying me. And I always wanted to go back. And when I decided to do that, all my friends and my family were like, are you crazy? Who quits a job of $500,000? You have a house, you have kids who are going to school. You want to go back to America? You want to go back to India?
You hate stagnation.
Yeah, I said, let's try it, Risk, लेने से risk आता है. That is something that I've always, quoted to people.
Yeah, well,
let's take the risk, because if you don't take the risk, how can Allah open the doors of risk?
you also had a plan. Yeah.
Well, see, man proposes, Allah disposes, right?
Man proposes, Allah disposes. क्या बात है साहब? क्या बात
you
है?
plan, but there is a better planner than you, right?
Best of planners.
Best of the planners. Yes, I had a plan. I have a lot of plans. Some plans pass, some doesn't. But you always have to work on plans with a fallback, right? I said, okay, let me go back to India and try this. If it's not going to work out, I have a life back here. I can always come back. And many times, a lot of my well-wishers, my mentors said, listen, if you go back or if you do something, you're going to go back to zero. And my response is, if I can do it once, I can do it again, right? That was the motto. So I said, okay, let's go back to India and do this. I had this dream India in my mind. So before I moved back, I started the company. I moved back to India in 2011, but the company was started in 2009, and I was shuttling back and forth. I would come here for a weekend, travel back to US, 24 hours traveling to India. I was here for 36, 48 hours. Then I traveled back to US for 24 hours. And my job in US also was traveling. So I used to travel almost about 160,000 miles every year. And I was sleeping in hotels. I was on the flights all the time. I was struggling. But again, like I said, I'm not a person who would rest. I don't know if I will rest for the next 20 years or till I go to the grave, inshallah.
Yeah, I can say that.
Yeah. So I think passion is the key word. You have to have the passion to do something bigger, better every day. I want to do better tomorrow than I did today. I think that is what keeps me going.
But why, sir? Why? Why working so hard?
See, that's a very good question. A lot of people ask, you have so much money, success. What are you working so hard for, working 14, 16 hours a day? See, I think every man is born to work, right? There are two important duties that you have to fulfill. I would rather say three. One, towards Allah, right? You do your duty towards Him. Two, if you're born and then you die and you haven't done anything, what have you achieved in life? Three, and what legacy have you created? If it's only about money, then a lot of people make money, right? A lot of people in this world are making money. But making money with a difference and then leaving a legacy behind. And मान के चलो आज से 50 साल बाद, my kids or my grandkids, they have to remember me saying, yes, my grandfather did something. I'll give you a small example. It just happened yesterday. Balapur is where we started our journey in terms of real estate. And I haven't been to that area in the last 10 years. And I had a wedding to attend, so I went to Balapur yesterday. And the area has changed so much. And I met someone yesterday. And he said, I know, आप Balapur का पूरा landscape change करे. Balapur को आप जो है ना पूरा बसाए. अभी इतने communities हैं यहाँ. They are very happy. So it makes you feel happy that you have achieved something. See, money is something that you will always make. In the due course of business, it'll come. Right? But what have you achieved? This is what you have achieved. When people come to you and say, "Aap ye kare," that is why we are here. Itne families Balapur mein aaj reh rahe. I think that gives you the utmost satisfaction, saying, yes, I'm doing something. I've done something in life. So that is the reason. That's what I think keeps me going. Money, bank balance. See, money is there. It'll come, like I said, due process of time. And sometimes it'll go away as well. Right, I've seen people from kings to paupers overnight.
Yeah.
I always tell my kids, see, Allah kun fayakun ka Rab hai. Aaj paisa hai, kal nahi rehta hai. But what remains is your character and what legacy you have created. That is what I'm working on. Legacy.
Absolutely. So, your purpose towards life is to leave a legacy.
Absolutely.
A strong legacy. See, I look at this from this perspective. So, मेरा perspective ऐसा है कि, let's say, मैं कल मेरी मौत हो गई और देयर इज सम हायर एजेंसी जो मेरे से पूछ रही है कि मैं तुमको इतने सारे एबिलिटीज़ दिया था, इतने सारे रिसोर्सेज दिया था, तुमने उसको कैसे इस्तेमाल किया? एंड आई शुड हैव एन आंसर एट दैट मोमेंट. वो जब ही हो सकता है जब मैं कुछ काम करा हूँ दुनिया में. अगर मैं कुछ भी नहीं करा, आई वॉज लेजी, आई वॉजंट डूइंग एनीथिंग, आई वॉजंट यूजिंग माई एबिलिटीज टू इट्स फुलेस्ट. Such a shame it would be, right?
Absolutely. I think, very good point, Furqan. Ability say, it's a good segue into our discussion. How many of our young generation kids know what their ability is, right? Realizing your ability and implementing that for a better tomorrow for yourself and others is the most important, the key factor. I think a lot of our kids, this generation doesn't realize what their abilities are. And then once you realize what your abilities are, you work on those abilities to improve and make yourself better and make your tomorrow and आने वाले कल को बेहतर बनाओ अपने लिए, अपने जानने वालों के लिए. I think that is what I think is more important.
Absolutely, sir. The biggest problem the youth is facing right now is risk. उनको रिस्क लेना नहीं है, बहुत डर है. कोई भी चीज़ सोचते हैं उससे पहले 10 एक्सक्यूजेस आ जाते थे कि ये साथ मेरे साथ ये होने वाला है. हाउ वर यू एबल टू नेविगेट ऑल these doubts or self doubts or the fear of failure?
See, failure is a part of life. If anybody would say that I've become successful without failing, it is absolutely bullshit, right?
Yeah,
Failure,
absolutely.
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 You fail, but you take failure as a stepping stone to success. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from your failures. I think I've faced many failures in life, in personal life, in my professional life, in my business life. But failures shouldn't stop you from getting up and then again doing it again, right? And that is where I think the success really lies. A lot of people give up and turn back and chhod dete hain, right? But how do you know that the success probably is just behind the door, or success is waiting for you in your next step? And आप जब quit करके वापस आ जाते हो, then there is no other way, right? Uh, I have faced a lot of failures. I've tried to do many things and I've failed. Projects में failures होते हैं, personal life में setbacks होते हैं, right? But giving up shouldn't be an option. That is when you fail, when you give up. देखो risk हमेशा रहता है, right? आज कोई जॉब कर रहा है और उसका एक पैशन है कि मैं आज ये छोड़ के अपना बिजनेस करूंगा. It's a risk because he says if I quit the job, then who's going to take care of my family, right? सब में बड़ा I think impedance जो है आज हमारे youth के लिए, या anybody who wants to start a business, how do I quit my job and then get into the business?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it is something very difficult for anybody to manage. I did the same thing. I quit my job and I started my business. But for that, you have to plan, right? Without planning, there is no success. If you don't plan, then you won't fail. देखो आप जब तक प्लान नहीं करोगे, फेलियर नहीं आएगा, सक्सेस भी नहीं आएगा. सो बिफोर एनी फेलियर और सक्सेस, प्लानिंग आई थिंक इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. That is what I think is the key that anybody needs to work on.
So, how many months ahead were you planning when you left your job and in the process of starting your own business?
24 months, at least, I would say. See, before I came back to India, like I said, I moved to India in 2011. I started the company in 2009. If you see a lot of people who have come back from other countries, Middle East, Saudi, Dubai, whatever, right? They quit the jobs and पैसा लेके इंडिया आ गए, right? And then they start exploring the opportunities कि मैं क्या business करूँगा. By the time they figure out, it's almost year and a half, and जो पैसा जमा करके लेके आए थे वो खत्म हो गया, right? And then they have to go back, or then they have to leave the option of business and they start working कोई job करना.
Several examples.
Several
sir.
examples.
अब जब बोल रहे हैं मेरे दिमाग में आ रहे हैं लोग.
So many of my friends also,
Yeah.
you know, मैं पैसा लेके आ गया इंडिया. Like, okay, so what now? सोच रहा हूँ क्या करेंगे. तो सोचने में पैसा खत्म हो जाएगा, राइट? फिर उसके बाद आपके पास दो ही ऑप्शन बचते हैं, या तो आप यहाँ जॉब करो या फिर वापस जाने का जो है ना रास्ता ढूंढो, या तो सऊदी चले जाओ, फिर वापस जाऊँगा, फिर जॉब दूँ. I learned from a lot of these examples. So at least 2 years ahead of time, I started my company in India, like I said, started looking for projects and put that in motion. Once I felt that I've reached a point where I can take the risk, comfortable, and then I also had some savings while I was working back in America. That is when I moved. And then, like I said, I had a fallback plan. I will dedicate, 18 months, 24 months to this. If it doesn't work out, then I have option B. You always have to have an option A and option B. आप blindly कोई चीज़ में चले जाओगे without a fallback and option B, you're bound to fail, doomed to fail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what exactly was the problem you saw or the gap in the market you saw जो आप fill करने के लिए Dream India start करे थे? 2007? 2007, right?
2009.
2009, yeah.
Yes. Biggest gap at that time, affordable home for a middle class family. And like I said, it was a struggle for me, Furqan, to buy or build my first house. It took me years. And I said, this shouldn't be so difficult. If you do it in a methodical way where you are helping people, of course you're making money. See, nobody does business for charity. And I did not do business for charity. I have to make money. So, but what amount of money do you make? But also give an affordable housing options to people. So that was the first thing. Affordable housing was what I had planned. Then the second thing is a lifestyle. If you go and look at all of my projects from the very first beginning, there were no gated communities that were affordable for Muslims. And if there were gated communities, our communities were not allowed to buy a house in that community
Why, sir?
because there are still, I feel, many projects in and around the city where a Muslim cannot buy a house. As shameful as it is in this country, it is still very prevalent. We created gated communities with lifestyle, with all the amenities, swimming pool, clubhouse, gym, and we were still able to provide all of that at an affordable price. If you could believe me, my first project in a gated community was Dream City. In 2011, we were selling an independent house, 1 BHK, for 15 lakhs.
Hmm.
Unheard of, right? Unbelievable. And we sold that like peanuts. It was sold probably in a month, and we completed that project in a record-breaking 16 months. We delivered it, and I think that's where we built trust. That is the gap that we saw between the need of the market and affordability. So I think that's where we brought the connectivity between the both.
So how were you able to lower your prices so much? 15 lakh रुपए.
Well, see,
प्लॉट नहीं आ रहा. घर दे दे रहे हैं.
well, आजकल नहीं आ रहा, but at that time it was affordable. But still, see, making a bigger profit margin was not my aim or motto at that time. See, we wanted to create a brand in the market. We wanted to be known as someone who has come to change the industry. In this segment, there was no standardization. If you would walk into, people were selling plots and houses in, कोई दुकान में शटर खोल के या नुक्कड़ पे या कोई एजेंट से खरीदना है. So Dream India brought a lot of structure. At that time, I'm sure you were a kid, but if you would ask anyone at that time, there was no hoarding in the city that
I
did
know,
not
sir.
have
I still
Dream
remember.
India.
I still remember while coming back from school in the auto के अंदर से मैं देखता था वो hoarding billboard पे Dream India लिखा हुआ. I still remember.
Yeah. So we did a lot of marketing. We created a brand. Profit was not the aim or not the motto at that time. It still is in business.
In order to
Yes,
sustain, we
yes.
have to make business. We
But
have to make money.
That's how we brought affordability. And I think by delivering our first and second project on time, we built trust. We built a brand. It's only possible when you don't look at profit alone.
So this is the most important question, and that is रियल एस्टेट इन जनरल यहाँ पे कैसा काम करता है कि अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रॉपर्टी होती है, उसको हम मार्केट करना स्टार्ट करते हैं, उससे जो पैसे आते हैं वो कंस्ट्रक्शन आगे बढ़ता है. अब आप मार्केट में नए थे यहाँ पे, हाउ आर यू एबल टू डू दैट सर? आप या तो पूरा आपका खुद का पैसा लगाना, या नहीं तो जो स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेस में जब ये बताया वो अपनाना. हाउ डिड यू व्हाट अप्रोच डिड यू टेक?
Well, I think first, people were attracted to pricing. That was the first thing. Second was our vision of what we were providing. And like I said, 15 years back, providing a gated community for a person who could only pay 15 lakh was unheard of. Yes, people had their doubts whether this company will do it or not. लोगों के पास ऐसे बहुत वजूहात और रीजंस भी थे. लोग पैसा लिए और भाग गए.
सत्यम स्कैम भी चल रहा था शायद उसी दौरान कुछ.
अरे रियल एस्टेट में पैसा लेंगे भाग जाएंगे. But then we created EMIs where we said you don't have to pay all the money. It's a pay as you go progress. जो आज रेरा आया है, right? People have a lot of safety in terms of how the money is paid. We provided that without RERA. भाई आप पैसा अपने कंस्ट्रक्शन के हिसाब से पे करते जाओ. You don't have to pay right away. और जो लोग अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते थे उनके लिए we gave easy EMIs without interest because we know our community does want to keep interest. So I think we had that in mind. We had all of these things, interest-based finance, trust factors. All of this was prevalent, but you have to create a brand with all of these challenges. It's not easy. It was not easy. It is not going to be easy for anyone who want to enter into such markets, especially real estate sector. बहुत बदनाम sector था और अभी भी है. There are a lot of companies पैसा लिए projects deliver नहीं करे, लोगों का पैसा अभी भी फंसा हुआ है, builders भाग गए. It's very common. It's very common. But I think you also have to understand at some point they also see who's running the ship, who's the captain, who's the leader, what trust they bring, where they come from. See, I did not quit my job in America of having millions of dollars to come back to India and just to take people's money and run away. अरे नहीं यार अमेरिका से आया है बंदा, पैसा है, ठीक ठाक है, इतना पैसा लेके नहीं भागेगा. I think we did a lot of right things. Alhamdulillah, I think.
Also, it's strange to see, if you have noticed, जो बड़े रियल एस्टेट फर्म्स ओन करते हैं वो लोग ऐसा ओपनली आके बात नहीं करते. यू सी दैट? हैव यू नोटिस दैट? इतना ज़्यादा ओपन में न्यूज़ में या पॉडकास्ट में वैसा आते नहीं वो लोग.
I mean, people who are only behind closed doors have something to hide, right? I'm a people's person. Need to meet people to understand how we are doing, whether we're doing right or not. Connect with people, understand what their needs are, understand where you stand in the market. And we don't have anything to hide. That is one of the reasons I'm always out in the open, meeting people, interviews, talking to my customers. That builds your brand, that builds your trust, and that also gives a name and to face to the name. आज जितने बहुत सारे companies हैं, people don't know who the owners are. Right?
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
want people to see the face and say, this is the person who's working tirelessly day in and day out to fulfill your dream of owning a house. Self stagnation, I think, is not a term, but I would like to create that term and say, ki, are you developing yourself? Right? I went to America, I got a job, and I said, okay, TK, now I'm fine, I am making money. But improving yourself is also very important. Aj, 20 years back, there was no computer, right? So I learned how to use my computer. Now I'm a very avid, tech person. I use Mac, I use everything. But you learn all of these things, right? Excel was very new, and I had no idea, but I learned that. Then I said, I would like to go and do my business management. And I went and got my MBA. I learned how to do marketing. I learned how to do finance, because the only way you could survive or progress in life is by improving yourself and the skills that you have. Like I said, if you connect your ability, then ability के ऊपर आपको अपने skills को भी बढ़ाना बहुत ज़रूरी है, because a skillful and resourceful man is always successful. So stagnation both in life and also in business. I don't want to sit idle. Once I started establishing Dream India and we felt that we are very comfortable in our business model, we started diversifying. Now we are into multiple different businesses. We are into exports and imports. We export healthcare supplies to South American countries like Guyana, Barbados. Like I said, we are into tech companies. We own a tech company called Cloud Hire in New York. We have about 250 employees. It's valued at about $30 to $40 million right now. We also are into infrastructure. We did a lot of work in infrastructure, and we continue to diversify. We are looking at some options in Africa. We are going into coffee business now. Don't want stagnation. You got to diversify, look at opportunities, and keep working.
So this portfolio, sir, this portfolio of yours is so impressive, so impressive. And one man coming from a middle class family who doesn't even have his own home is now able to manage or build so many different business empires within such short period of time. I think it sounds some sort of generational thing कि इतने generation लगेंगे इतने सारे बनाने में, अगर आप एक ही generation में बना दिए.
A lot of people think that I have this generational wealth. My father gave me all this. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. And I will also not give all of this to my kids just so that they have this feeling of I'm born with silver spoon. No, they have to work through these challenges and understand that success doesn't come easily. See, mind is such a beautiful thing to waste, right? Allah ने जब हमको इतना दिमाग दिया है, and we are only using 1% of it. My mind just keeps going on. If I get an opportunity, I explore the opportunity. If someone brings something to the table, I want to learn it. And okay, if somebody came to me the other day and said, listen, this is the opportunity we have. I said, okay, Africa, Uganda, let's go. And we went and we explored the opportunity. We are into now coffee farming. Explore. What do you have to lose? Money? If you can do it once, you can do it again. Right?
About the opportunities, sir, you mentioned that India is booming right now. Why do you say that?
Well, see, how old are you?
24 years old.
24 years, right? I don't want to say my age, but we started, I have seen the age from a beeper to a big, bulky cell phone to where we are today. Right? Look at from a transistor radio. I remember I used to take a transistor radio to my school to listen to the commentary. Now I'm sitting in my car. I'm on the road. I'm still watching the cricket. Right. I mean, look at the exponential tech growth that this country has. Uh, there was a time when India used to think that our population is a curse. Now the population of India is a boon, right? Every other person you see right now is into a startup, right? The opportunities are endless. India is the youngest country in the world. The most youngest population are in India. We have consumers that are ready to buy anything that you sell to them. I mean, look at the opportunities from tech, from business, from any perspective. But our people do not look into those or at least explore that opportunity. We are unaware what opportunities exist. Look at where the technology has gone today, right? I can sit in my car and watch, cricket. Just that thought in itself should give you. See, we come from that generation where we understand that and appreciate it and know what the changes have been. But just because this generation has a cell phone in hand and they can watch anything, they don't realize the journey that this technology has.
zoomed in है आपके जो पर्सपेक्टिव है बहुत zoomed out है वो.
Exactly. You are just watching Instagram, but we are looking at saying, okay, if somebody created this Instagram, somebody created this phone, what can I do? Right? What can I contribute to this growth? What little role can I play to get success out of this for myself? But no, half of our population is busy watching the reels or making the reels.
But why, sir? Why is my question? Because आपने बताया कि unaware है बहुत ज़्यादा. Why are they unaware? Because information is everywhere, accessible भी है. अगर आप बोलते थे कि हमारे ज़माने में हम unaware थे तो मैं समझ सकता था, ठीक है, accessibility नहीं थी. अब तो why is it?
Laziness, I think, and lack of self-awareness or lack of zeal or enthusiasm to be successful. And like I said, play a bigger role or get at least a bigger role in the success that this country has to offer right now. And then I think also along with that, most of our younger generations blame that we are not getting the opportunity.
Yes, this is another problem.
Stop blaming, man. You need to get up and work your ass off to make yourself successful. बहुत रो चुके हम, हमको अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिली, हमको स्कूल में नहीं अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली, कॉलेज में नहीं. I think we have had enough opportunities, right? You got educated, but you just blame someone else for your failure.
काबिलियत नहीं है, आपके पास स्किल नहीं है, फिर आप कंप्लेन क्यों कर रहे हैं कि हमको अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिली?
भाई आप रात में 3 बजे तक रील देखोगे और वलीमे में दावत खा के 4 बजे घर को आके सोओगे और नेक्स्ट डे आप 1 बजे दिन में उठोगे, तो सक्सेस विल नेवर कम टू यू, राइट? यू हैव टू वेक अप अर्ली इन द मॉर्निंग, गेट आउट, learn, struggle, come back after 16 hours, put your head to the pillow, get tired, get up the next morning and then go back to work. That is what we did. I used to work 18 hours a day when I was still making $500,000.
8 घंटे से 18 hours a day.
I really worked. See, I'm telling you, nothing is easy in this world. If you feel that, see, what people today see is this and say, okay, success hai.
किस्मत है, लक अच्छी है बोलते हैं.
नहीं, luck अच्छी है, क्या luck है? But nobody sees the journey behind the success, the journey or the struggle behind the shiny cars, the struggle and the sleepless nights behind the interviews, right? I worked 18 hours a day. And when I was struggling in America, I will tell you, Furqan, there was no job that I had none done. I was a waiter at a restaurant. I was a cab driver. I was working at a gas station. I mopped the floor. That's what it takes. No job is small. Okay? No job is small. I am not ashamed to say that, yes, I worked at a gas station. I delivered newspapers. I really worked as a waiter at a restaurant, taking the orders. I used to wake up at 4 in the morning and go and deliver the newspapers. Success is not easy. And what people see right now is, oh, Rafi Saab ke paas paisa hai. This money was not easy to make. Okay, I didn't get here. See, luck is definitely, Allah has to bestow His will and His favors on you. But Allah blesses only you when you work hard. Allah will not bless you if you wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and sit on the janamaz and pray, Allah mere ko paisa de de. Allah will bless the person who is working hard. He sees who is toiling day and night, right? Then when I went to America, I was like, I want to be a part of this country. And I wanted to feel like I am an American. I went and took some accent reduction courses, how to speak. I was on a self improvement plan. Then I was working hard 18 hours a day. I had my wife and kids, right? So managing all of this is not easy. But when that success comes, people say, "अरे यार पैसा आने के बाद सब ऐसे ही बोलते हैं."
आपके वास्ते आसान था होगा भाई.
Exactly, right? That's not the case.
Everybody wants the shiny objects, but nobody wants to go through the pain.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, a very important question, okay? And that is, वो रफ़ी साहब है जो होटल में एज अ वेटर काम कर रहे हैं. इस वक्त दिमाग में क्या चल रहा फ्यूचर को लेके?
Well, Furqan, first thing is never forget where you came from, because that will make you very grounded. Become people's person, like I said, be out, open, meet with people. Never, वो बोलते हैं ना कि सक्सेस को सर पे मत चढ़ा लो. Okay, and I truly follow that. Be always humble, because whatever you are today is by the blessings of your God, Allah.
एक सेकंड में चले भी जा सकता
And
है.
definitely. And what remains, like I said, is your character. Who you are today, who will you be tomorrow after you have or you don't have the money. Provide a lot of opportunities to young generation. I have almost over 200 people working across, I would say 400 people in different companies working across. I'm happy, alhamdulillah, that we have created opportunities, jobs for so many people. Continue to do that. Leave a legacy. Again, when I put my head to pillow every day, I thank Allah for what I am today, where I am today, and work hard. Like I said, don't rest on your laurels. Keep working hard and leave a better tomorrow for people who are working for you. Be humble, be grounded. Like I said, never forget where you came from. I still go to the restaurant today, and the first thing I ask the waiter is, "What is your name?" And I address the waiter by his name, just because I've been there, right?
Because you wanted to be treated that way when you were in his position.
Absolutely. I don't say, "Hey, babu, hey, beta." I respect that person because I know that I've been there, and no job is small, and he's working hard. So give him the due respect he deserves. Whether it is your driver, whether it is your maid at home, whether it is your employee at your office, treat everyone with respect.
So strange enough, you have expanded your business in the city of Mumbai. क्योंकि ये वो शहर ऐसा है, competition इतना तगड़ा है वहाँ पे. Why did you make that decision, sir?
We didn't go directly into Mumbai. First, for any company to expand into any other city, whether it's in the same state or any other city outside your state, the first thing that you need to really make sure that your operations are working, because operationally you should be able to support the business no matter which part of the country it is. So we did a lot of work in the peripheral cities of Hyderabad, like we worked in Nizamabad, we worked in Zahirabad, we worked in a lot of different cities and other towns in Hyderabad. But then I think Mumbai again is the land of opportunities and dreams for India, just like New York is the land of opportunities. And the sheer also is the requirement and the growth that market has. It is the capital, finance capital of India. So similarly, it has a lot of opportunities. At some point, also diversification is very important, whether it's in the same business, in the same vertical, or you're in other verticals. So we thought Mumbai would be a good opportunity because Mumbai has a lot of demand. देखो housing ऐसी market है that can never go out of demand. It can become stagnant and slow based on the economy or political situation of a state, but the opportunities will be exponential.
रहने के लिए जगह तो चाहिए ही चाहिए.
And Mumbai में इतना population है कि रहने के लिए जगह चाहिए. And we created this brand successfully, so we want to take it to pan-India. I think in the next 5 years, 7-year plan, we are looking at opportunities in other states other than Mumbai as well. So we've been very successful in Mumbai so far.
Successful? How will you define that?
See, success has different meanings, I would say, or different definition. Successful in a way where we have executed at least 3 projects right now, building 2 million square feet, 20 lakh square feet. Successfully executed, sold, under construction. We are handing over our second project in the next 4 to 5 months. So I think for a company that expanded from Hyderabad to Mumbai and successfully, selling and creating a brand. Just to give you an example, we launched a project in August last year in Jogeshwari. It has 3 towers of 45 floors each. We launched that project on Friday and we sold it by Monday. So in 48 hours, we sold 500 units. We have created a record in Mumbai. I mean, imagine selling 48 hours, 500 flats. Unheard of. Anybody, you tell this to anybody,
Yeah.
वो लोग बोले, "अरे बेवकूफ बना रहा है."
कुछ
But that
कुछ
is- yeah,
मैजिक
कुछ-
बॉन्ड है आप
yeah.
लोगों के पास.
नहीं, magic wand नहीं है. I think it is creating opportunities for the buyers that they feel that they have to buy, and you're creating that trust again. And we went into a market where the pricing was high. We felt that the customers need to benefit from that. We went into the market with at least 20% lower pricing than what the market has to offer. Because again, we were creating a brand. Money was or profit was not the criteria. And we did enough marketing for the first 60 days, made people aware that there's some sort of project is coming. We have given so many amenities in that project. It's called Dream Signature. If you go on the website, you'll see. We have videos online also that can prove that there were hundreds and hundreds of people at the launch where we were out of space in a 10,000 square feet office. People had to wait outside in line to come in and to book your flat. So it was a record-breaking phenomena. We booked 500 flats, did over 500 crores of business in one weekend. So I think that is successful. It's not success. We have successfully sold the project. Success has a different definition for me.
What is it?
Success is never a destination. I don't think I will ever call myself successful, because the moment I feel that I am successful, I will become very lazy. I'll say, abhi success aa gaya, abhi kya karna hai?
I will quote you, sir. I will quote you. I have written it down. You said, if you feel like you have achieved success, I think that is the end of any business. I'm like, Rafi sir, ऐसा क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Why is it a bad thing to have a finish line? ठीक है, मैं इतना पैसा बना लूंगा, उसके बाद I will live my life.
Who decides the finish line?
You, because you are the captain of the ship.
Why should I decide a finish line? See, this, whether it's business or life comes to an end when Allah wants it to end, right? Business or making money is not a marathon or a sprint कि मैं 100 meters भागा, रेस जीत गया. 1 kilometer का रेस था, भागा और जीत गया. It is an ongoing thing. There is no finish line in business. There shouldn't be a finish line. If, let's take an example, right? Whether it is Jeff Bezos or whether it is anyone else, people who are billionaires today, have they quit and started living their life?
No, they haven't.
Not why. They have billions. I don't have, fraction of money compared to them. Why do you think they're working? Because money, see, at some point, Furqan, in life, when you are making money and you're living a comfortable life, your business is no longer about money. Money just becomes a number.
Then what is it about?
It is about passion. It is about legacy. It is about what makes you tick. See, if I don't work, I will feel that I'm going to die. My mind is going to die. I am going to become useless for anybody. So if I say I'm successful, I think that'll be end of me and end of any business. You can never achieve success because you decide what is success. अगर आज मैं ये सोचूं कि भाई मुझे 10 करोड़ कमाना है, ये success है. Now I made the money. What next? Then I think it changes your perception of how you see yourself. You will never be successful if you decide what success is. Success, you move the finish line. समझो आपने एक goal बनाया कि मुझे ये करना है. And when you get there, you move the goal post a little far. So now मुझे अभी फिर यहाँ ये करना है. And people ask, अरे भाई ये कर लिया अभी क्यों? Like, then what am I going to do? See, the only place and time that I'm going to rest is when I die and go to my grave. बहुत टाइम है वहाँ आराम करने का. यहाँ आराम करने नहीं आए हम.
Exactly.
Have you and come into this life just to rest and enjoy?
Yeah.
Then what's the purpose?
Exactly. So this is the mindset I wanted to build. So that is the reason why I recently did an expedition of a cycling expedition from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. I've done on my bicycle in 25 days. This is the mentality I want to build. I want to see where my 100% lies. What happens if I give my 100% onto something? What shape I can give, what human being I can carve if I give my 100%. That I want to see. I want to see what I'm capable of, what abilities I was gifted with.
Absolutely. See, that's the motivation, right? You need to understand. First, you need to dedicate. Then you need to understand, do I have this ability? आप explore नहीं करोगे तो आप अपनी ability पहचानोगे कैसे? और जब आप अपनी एबिलिटी नहीं पहचानोगे तो उसके ऊपर बिल्ड कैसे करोगे, उसको इंप्रूव कैसे करोगे. सो आई थिंक सम बेसिक क्राइटेरिया हमको सेट करना है कि व्हाट डू आई नीड टू डू. फर्स्ट आई नीड टू डिफाइन व्हाट माय एबिलिटीज आर, and then define what are skills I need so that I reach where I want to go. Maybe you decide what your success is for you, but for me it is a different meaning
The
altogether.
definition is different.
Different.
Yeah, of course. About the most interesting part about Dream India, and that is Anil Kapoor. Sir, ये इसको मेरे को स्टार्टिंग से बताइए कि पिक्चर में आए कैसा अनिल कपूर.
Hey, Anil, I met Anil in London for the first time. I went on vacation, and through a friend, I met Anil, and I was very impressed. Of course, growing up, I saw his movies and 1, 2, 4, and all of that. So he was one of my favorite. He still is.
Different थे उन्होंने या invisible थे जब भी?
No, he was very much visible. So I was introduced, and we sat, we were chatting, and we had this connect. And the first question he said, like, I met you somewhere. कहीं मिला हूँ तुमसे. And I think that kind of, when two people have similar energy and synergies, he's a very clean guy without any, rumors in the industry for so long. It immediately felt like that connect. And we said, we got to do something together. So we spent some time in London. He always goes to Austria. So we traveled there. And then we came back to India, and I said, if I want somebody to represent my brand, I think it would be him. I had a lot of other people. I know a lot of people in the Bollywood industry because I travel to Mumbai and, we meet somewhere or the other. But I thought Anil Kapoor was the right person to represent my brand. And I think he's done a great job. I think we wanted people to know who we are. So sometimes it takes a different face. So he has launched, quite a few of our projects. He's been very successful, and he continues to be a great friend of mine.
Yeah. So we have this section wherein a rapid fire नहीं बोल सकते इसको, but it's just that you answer however you want to. Okay,
सोचने का time नहीं है.
नहीं, ऐसा भी कुछ भी नहीं है. You can think about that. It's just that this table of wisdom style. Okay. Okay. So the first question is, one business decision you wish you had taken earlier.
To get into the business of construction.
But why?
I think I would have been able to achieve more than where I am today. Today it's been 16 years now. If I would have started 25 years ago, things would have been different. But again, in practical life, ifs and buts doesn't work. हमारे यहाँ बहुत हैदराबाद में common है. अगर ऐसा होता तो मैं वैसा करता तो. Ifs and buts doesn't work in practical life, and I think also from our religious point of view, it is not a good thing to do.
Yeah. ना हो ना
Yeah, you are. Yeah,
ना
exactly.
उम्मीदी ज़वाल इल्म व इरफा है, उम्मीद मर्द मोमिन है खुदा के राज़दानों में. One business mistake that taught you the most.
Well, see, I entered into a project in 2017 where I invested crores of money, and it did not pan out exactly the way I expected it to. Because see, you plan, but there is a better planner, and Allah has something else in mind. It was a very big setback for the company, and a lot of people thought that we would never come back. Okay, but again, failure.
What happened, sir?
There were a lot of legalities. See, real estate is a
of
very
course.
dynamic in terms of no matter how वो आप ठोक बजा के भी देखो कहीं तो कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है. So we entered into a very, very huge project. I think it was a better and a very big vision. Maybe we were not prepared for that, but financially we went all in. Like वो कहते हैं ये सब अंदर हो गया. It was a very big setback for me. But in the hindsight, I think Allah wanted it this way. I've learned my lessons to be more careful, to invest the companies and people's money in the right places. It took us 2 to 3 years to come back. That was a big setback. Would I call it a failure? I wouldn't. Because see, I think it was a lesson more than a failure. Because there are certain lessons that you need to learn. And you only learn those lessons when things go wrong or they don't go as you planned. See, planning is the first point, but sometimes that doesn't work. Then you always have to replan it, re-strategize. So we did that, and we are back with a bang. So sometimes वो होता है ना जब आप छोटे थे, I don't know whether you know, वो गुलर मारते हैं, right? Yeah. So you have to pull it back to give it the bounce that it needs. So I think it was a good setback for us to bounce forward.
What is that one lesson you learned from that entire situation?
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. ये बहुत सारी जो हम पढ़ते हैं. I'm a very avid reader. I read a lot of books. I'm reading this book right now called The Art of Persuasion. जो कहावतें हैं जो हम पढ़ते हैं, they are very true. I think they definitely imply or you should imply that in your practical life. So we said, why do we have to only stick to real estate? Right? See, अगर एक दिन ऐसा आए कि आप सब लगा के बैठे हो and then things don't work out, what are you going to do? COVID, for example, right? Lockdown, everything was closed. There was no money coming in. What do? You have to still bear the expenses, hundreds of employees. So we wanted to look at opportunities where we can diversify, expect revenue from different streams, different businesses. So that's why the reason we went into diversification.
Diversification is
Yeah,
important.
we went into infrastructure, we went into government contracts, we became Class A contractor. I think we did 300 to 400 crores of business in infrastructure. We went into tech companies, which my son runs right now. We went into exports and imports. We continue to expand and diversify. एक real estate segment slow ho, so there should be some money coming in from some other avenues.
So it was a blessing in disguise.
Blessing in disguise, absolutely. Whatever happens, happens by the will of Allah.
Absolutely. The quality you value most in a business partner?
Business partner. I think the most is faith and trust. There is a saying कि एक हदीस है कि जहाँ दो पार्टनर मिलते हैं और उनकी नीयत अच्छी होती है तो तीसरा पार्टनर अल्लाह होता है. So I have partnered with a lot of people in the past, some good, some bad. I think what I look for is people who are really trustworthy. Because you're not in every place at every time, right? So you need to have partners who you can trust and
God-fearing.
blindly, God-fearing. And whether they know everything or they don't. You see, partnership should bring value. Value in terms of what I don't know and what my partner knows. That is only when you bring, you join hands and you bring strength. If I know everything, he knows everything, we both are good people, what good is it? Yes, he might bring some money to the table, I might bring money to the table, but is money the only thing you're looking in a partner? You're looking for strengths, right? Things or ability or time that I do not have, my partner has. So you understand that ability, you appreciate that, then only the partnerships will be successful.
Absolutely. As a partner, you have to bring something to the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or else you are just a dead weight.
Dead weight, absolutely.
So, sir, when you design a community, जब आप community कोई plan करते हैं, build बनाने का सोचते हैं, तो what are the things you keep in mind while planning?
Well, see, I have a whole team who does planning, board of directors, our engineers, we all sit together. But see, basically, you need to give them a platform on what to work on. My aim, when I look for opportunity or a project, is to first we do a very detailed analysis of the area. What kind of people live there, what their affordability looks like, and also what the gap in the market is. What are people looking for? Whether it is just a house, whether it is a lifestyle, whether it is amenities, and usable space. If you look Mumbai market, for example, right? There's a one bedroom of 400 square feet, and a two bedroom is anywhere between 600 to 700 square feet. So there is a lot of space constraints and also value. You have to make sure that every inch of that area is usable, right? You cannot waste. Like Hyderabad has a lot of space, so people really don't care how the kitchen is, how the windows are placed, and which way the doors open, where the wardrobes are. So I sit on a lot of those plannings because, see, I learned from my mentor, business mentor, like measure twice, cut once.
Measure twice, cut once.
Right?
क्या बात है?
So the amount of time you spend in planning and designing is proportional to your success of that project. Because in real estate, what happens is once your plans are ready and you implement them, you get the permissions, the construction starts. If you realize that you made a mistake, at that point it can change, right? Shirt ढीला हो गया, tailor को दे दो, सी के दे देगा. That's not the opportunity you have. You only get one take. So we spend anywhere from 4 to 6 months in the planning stage of any project. Our architects have to go through 10 to 20 different reiterations or versions of planning. We change and change until we feel that it is perfect. Is it perfect? Maybe not, because we then learn from this project and say next project we're going to change X, Y, and Z.
Humans after all.
Our last project, we have 30 different amenities on the rooftop of the 45th floor and on the 10th podium floor. Unbelievable. If you look at a list of all of those, it's 30 different amenities for someone who's going to live in a 1 or 2 BHK. That's what gives people happiness. Apart from छोटा सा घर के अलावा और क्या मिल रहा है मुझे? Right, I get to use the swimming pool. My kids get to use the library. My wife gets to go and work out in a female gym and female swimming pool. I can go out and run at on the rooftop. I think amenities is something that adds value to any house. I think that is where we spend a lot of time in terms of planning.
Absolutely so. So the next question, and that is the quickest way to lose your trust.
Do not deliver your projects on time, or do not deliver anything to customers that you promise. There has been instances where we have taken loss in terms of customers and provided them with something that we have not promised, because that is the only way you can build trust. See, once you hand over the project, there is a duration, like 24 months, right? Anything happens after that is your responsibility. But the customers come back and say, ऐसे हो गया, आपको घर देके 2 साल हो गए भाई. But we still go back and help them, because that's what builds the trust. But do we leave that window open for every customers to come and do it? Absolutely not.
That's not possible too.
Exactly. So I think building trust, I would always say.
All right. One trait that separates successful entrepreneurs from dreamers.
Stagnation.
Elaborate, please.
See, entrepreneur is someone who just starts and gets into the business, right? Your motivation. Successful business people are people who implement the strategies in the right way, build teams, and then become a leader. There is a big travel duration between an entrepreneur and a leader. To run business successfully, you have to become a leader. To be an entrepreneur, you need to have an idea and a vision, and you start implementing it. And you might be alone working on it, and you might have a team of 10 people working on it. But only a successful leader can become a businessman. Failures, impotence, plans going wrong way, all of these will happen. But only a successful leader can take this ship to the next port.
What qualities does a successful leader has?
See, leadership means has different definitions in different places.
What is it for you, sir?
To work alongside the teams. See, I delegate a lot of things. I say, you do this. But I also prove that as an example that I can also do this. Okay, I was talking to your camera guy, and he was asking me something about AI. And I said, listen, the first and the most important thing for a leader is he needs to know what his people are doing. If my staff can do marketing, then I should be able to do marketing myself. You lead by example, not by demand, just because they're your employees. Then people love you as your leader, and they miss you when you're not there. Work with them, because they're not your क्या कहते हैं गुलाम नहीं है आपके employees है, आपकी team है, and give them motivation, train them, teach them. I know for sure that people who have worked with me have learned a lot from me, because I'm a leader. I teach people. Teaching should be a quality of a leader. Leading by example should be a quality of a leader. And sometimes, demanding to something to be done is also part of the leadership. So to be humble, to lead people, to train, all of this combined together are the traits of a successful leader.
वो है ना कि काम कराने के लिए काम आना भी जरूरी है.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so the next one. Speed or perfection?
Perfection with speed. I cannot choose one or the other.
Wise answer, sir. Acha, data or intuition?
Data first, put that with intuition. Because see, data alone is very successful. I believe I'm a very numbers person. But at the end of the day, intuition also is very important. If I did not have the intuition that I could be successful or I could do something, then you wouldn't start looking at the data. I think the intuition of analyzing yourself and what your intuition says is very important. Then you analyze the data, right? Sometimes it's one or the other, but sometimes it's a combination of both.
Yeah. I think when you have data, your intuition becomes stronger and stronger. So intuition is variable here. Data is not variable. Okay, data is stagnant or static.
Absolutely.
Intuition changes with data is what I feel. What do you think, sir?
See, sometimes what happens is we, in the back of our mind, we look at some data and look at it from the perception of our intuition, and that changes the perception.
This is another paradox.
Right?
Yeah.
आपको एक एंड रिजल्ट पे पहुंचना है बिकॉज आप साइकोलॉजिकली वो डिसाइड कर चुके हो कि मुझे ये करना है. Now you need supporting evidence. Now sometimes that data will give you that supporting evidence and drive your intuition towards what you want to do. Right? So logic में or intuition में or data में there are three different variables. How you utilize it to pick. See if I've already made up my mind कि मुझे यहाँ project करना है. Now everything that comes, I look all this data from the perspective that मुझे ये करना है. आप डेटा को देख के ये नहीं बोले कि ओके डेटा ऐसा बोल रहे हैं तो हमको ये करना चाहिए. बट समटाइम्स यू नो इट डिपेंड्स ऑन वेयर यू पुट इट. अगर मैं एक प्रोजेक्ट की मार्केटिंग कर रहा हूँ और डेटा आता है एंड आई सी ओके दिस इज वेयर वी आर राइट एंड दिस इज वेयर वी आर रॉन्ग, और मुझे कोई प्रोजेक्ट करना है और उससे पहले डेटा आता है तो लाइक ओके दिस डेटा शोज दैट वी शुड डू इट बिकॉज आई ऑलरेडी हैव डिसाइडेड दैट दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी शुड डू.
Just supporting things. All right. So, the best advice you have ever received?
Leave no stone unturned. You know, when I went to America, I was working with my boss at the time. He became a very good friend, and we used to play golf together. His name is Mark Koch. I consider him to be my business guru. And whenever we used to go out to meetings, and he always used to say, Syed, do not leave any stone unturned. Initially, I was like, what is this? Don't leave any stone unturned. Then, as such, he gave me a lot of, क्या कहते हैं उसको advice, but that's I think one that I follow very rigorously. Don't leave anything to chances. Just work hard. कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी मत छोड़ो, कोई ऐसा काम ऐसी चीज मत छोड़ो जिससे बाद में ऐसे लगे कि फेलियर. You do everything, and then if the success doesn't come, it's okay. It's probably not meant to happen.
One lesson your parents taught you that still guides you today?
Well, my mom and of course my mom and my dad have been the guiding light of my life. They have given me the best advices possible. One thing my dad always said, stay true to your values. Don't run after money. My dad also comes from a business background. He always said, बेटा कोई भी मेहनत करोगे पैसा जरूर आने वाला है, but how you make that money is very important. वो पैसा जो सुकून खराब कर दे वो पैसा कभी मत कमाओ. And today I can tell you I sleep full 8 hours without stress, and that's the best advice I've taken from my parents. See, the work is always going to be there. If you leave it today at 11 p.m., next day morning that work will wait for you. But what happens between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning is your time and how much stress you take. All that depends on the money and the type of money. जो कैसा पैसा आप कर रहे हो. Because जो गलत पैसा है, हराम का पैसा है, that will never give you stress free life. सुकून कहीं नहीं मिलता आपको, समझ रहे आप. So I think that's the best advice I've taken from my parents, especially when I started real estate. याद है मुझे, my dad said 1 इंच अगर किसी की लेंगे, because it was very common in real estate, कब्जा हो गया, किसी की ज़मीन आ गई, 1 इंच अगर आप किसी का लोगे बेटा, अल्लाह ताला क़यामत के दिन आपको कई फीट अंदर धसा देने वाला है. And I always remember this, like you have to be very careful in this business.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. The advice you wish more young people would ignore?
A lot of parents will not like this, but there was I was invited to talk at a gathering of successful school students, and I said, don't become doctors and engineers. I think a lot of students now are young generation who really wants to do something in life are focused more on degrees. Okay, education and degrees are two different things. People are getting degrees, but they're not being educated. I see a huge gap. Successful 98% exam mein aa gaye, but the guy doesn't know anything. So don't go after degrees, go after learning. I'll give you an example. I was interviewing for a position in my company for head of finance. And Furqan, I had 35 resumes, and almost 32 of them were MBA in finance. And probably 28 of them could not explain to me what cash flow, what future projections are. Imagine. So, and this is a huge gap. Kids today don't go to school to learn. 90% of them don't go to college anyway. घर पे डिग्री आ गई, एग्जाम लिख दिया आ गई. So that education is a farce, right? Parents are spending money for degrees where your kids are not learning anything. See, what I have as a degree doesn't matter if I know everything. Okay, The first thing that I look for in any person who applies for a job, I keep the resume aside. I don't want to know their degrees. I want to know what they learned, what their competence is, and their ability to learn. सिखा हम देंगे आपको. ठीक है? You come to me, I'll teach you marketing, I'll teach you finance, I'll teach you anything. But are you able to grasp? Are you able to understand? So my uh, advice for young generation is don't go after degrees. Go to learn
Learn.
something. Yeah, learning is important. I still learn every day. Learning should never be stopped. You should learn every day.
For sure. A moment that made you feel proudest as a founder.
I got a call from a homeowner in a project called Sunshine Valley, which we delivered in 2012. And this happened probably about 6 to 8 months ago. And I saw this number on the phone. I didn't even realize who it was. And I said, hello. And he said, oh, I'm so and so calling from Sunshine Valley. I said, okay. He said, साहब आप नहीं जानते इतनी खुशी होती है हमको आप इतनी अच्छी गेटेड कम्युनिटी बनाए इतने एम्यूनिटीज़ दिए और हम लोग बहुत खुश हैं यहाँ पर और एक छोटी प्रॉब्लम है जो मैं आके आपसे डिस्कस करना चाह रहा हूँ. You know, it's 2012, this is 2026, 14 years later when people call you and they appreciate what you have given. See, housing, especially एक ऐसा sector है which people appreciate after 4 years, 5 years, 10 years and they realize these guys have done a good job because value appreciate ho gayi. And now they realize, you know, they have a gym, they have a swimming pool, they have garden, they have a park, they have a place to pray. So I think that's what makes me feel proud. Like, yes, I achieved something. Ultimate satisfaction.
So here's the thing. कोई भी चीज़ किसी को मोटिवेट जब करती है जब उनका इमीडिएट रिजल्ट मिल जाए या इमीडिएट डोपामाइन हिट मिल जाए, लेकिन आपको तो 4 साल वेट करना पड़ रहा है यहाँ पे.
Well, see, 4 साल आज जो प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करूंगा उसके लिए 4 साल है. But you know, this is a continuous journey for the last 16 years. There is satisfaction because I know we are doing the right thing. Are you happy with what you're doing? I think that's the first important thing. Does your mind, does your heart say that you're doing the right thing? And if it is, the results will come. You have to be patient. Like I said in many of my interviews, patience, persistence, and perseverance are 3 P's that I've followed for the last 25, 30 years of my journey. Failures, I say, no, what? I have to be persistent and I'm sure that I'll get where I am. And then you put yourself in that place. And patience, yeah, it does put you through a lot of stress, sleepless nights. Don't I take stress? If you think I don't, you'll be absolutely mistaken, right? But then you channel that stress in the right way and say, see, most people when they're stressed and when they see that something that they're working on or have been working for the last several months or years is not working out, immediate reaction of that, छोड़ दो यार अब नहीं होगा. And people who know me closely or people who see me where I am today is not because मैंने कहा छोड़ दो यार अब ये नहीं होगा. I've been through the worst situations anybody could imagine when things went wrong with our project, like I said. And the only way that I saw is to quit and say, you know what, abhi time aa gaya America वापस जाने का. It could have been the easiest thing I would do for Khan. Just get on the flight, take my family and say, chalo America. But then I wouldn't live with that for the rest of my life.
I gave up.
I could not imagine myself living the rest of my life with that. I couldn't sleep. I probably would have died because, you know,
You cannot run away from the battlefield.
no, you can't. You shouldn't quit. So follow, be patient. You will fail. You will get up. You start running again. You will fall again. This is part of life, part of business. In our personal life too, right? We have so many setbacks. Do we stop living? You don't. You wake up the next day, you have your breakfast. Say, okay, theek hai yaar, chalo abhi kuch. Why do you quit in business? Why do you quit in your professional life? Follow the same attitude. I am going to be successful. When you have that persistence, then ऊपर वाला भी बोलता है चलो यार मेरा बंदा भी कोशिश कर रहा है. And all of this should be in the confines of what your religion allows you to do. Follow, pray, be patient. Sabr, inna Allah ma'as sabrin. Allah beshak sabr karne walon ke saath hai. Right now we call patience, but Allah has taught you, be patient. Things will happen. You will be successful.
The only rule of the game of business is to keep playing.
Absolutely. See, very well said. I probably would not have put that in such a good way.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Learning from you, sir. Your influence. So, sir, if you were to squeeze all your experiences from whatever you have been through into one profound lesson, what would it be, sir?
Get up and start working. Literally, because Furqan, I'm telling you, I'm so disappointed with what I see around in our city and in the young generation. Some, not everyone, some people are working hard. We lack the patience. We lack the curiosity. We lack the ability to learn. We do not have the zeal or enthusiasm to do something better. What do we have? We have so much time to spend with friends at every chai corner. रात के 3 बजे देखो हर होटल के पास चाय पीने के लिए लोग खड़े हुए हैं. What we lack is the curiosity. सबको शॉर्टकट चाहिए. मतलब पैसा कैसा बनाना है. आप कहीं को ठहर के किसी की कॉन्वर्जेशन सुनो. बात करेंगे करोड़ों की, जेब में 10 रुपया नहीं रहेंगे. राइट. बट सुबह सुबह उठना है, या सुबह जब उनकी होती है 4 बजे, कड़क इस्त्री करना है, फिर आके वही ठहरना है. This is not going to work. Where is this generation going? And then फिर Instagram पे देखना है कि success, shiny cars, this, अपने को क्यों नहीं हो सकता, we should get this, we should, and then you are looking for shortcuts. And by the time you realize that you're doing it the wrong way, that train has left
Too
the
late.
platform, right? You are 35, 40 years old, now you don't have the zeal, now you don't have the time. What are we doing? I think that is what I would tell my young generation.
फिर
Change.
कंप्लेन भी करना है कि हमारी किस्मत वैसी नहीं है. किस्मत का तो जो खिचड़ी बना के रखे हुए है, कुछ भी हमारी नाकामयाबी होती ना, वो किस्मत पे ढकल देते. हमारी किस्मत नहीं थी इसलिए नहीं. इंस्टेड ऑफ टेकिंग अकाउंटेबिलिटी एंड ओनरशिप, इट्स लाइक मैं क्या गलत करा और मैं क्या सही कर सकता था ताकि मेरे को नाकामयाबी ना फेस करना पड़े था. मैं क्या ऐसा कर सकता था जो मेरे को सक्सेसफुल बना सकती थी. बट नो, किस्मत.
Change should come internally first. Then you will be able to change everything around you. So change everything in you first.
Absolutely. Where are we heading, sir?
We are heading towards diversification. I see us doing bigger and better projects in the next 3 to 5 years. Mumbai, we have at least 3 other projects in the pipeline. Like I said, we have 2 million square feet under construction. See, for a company which entered into a different market and within a short period of time reaching a 2 million square feet of construction in is a big milestone. But we at least have another 2 to 3 million square feet in the pipeline, projects that are being planned right now. You will see that we launch those in the next 6 to 12 months, hopefully, and deliver some of the projects that we have started in the last 2 to 3 years. We are aggressively looking at international markets with changing geopolitical situations. We are aggressively looking to diversify into Africa in different segments. Our tech company, which is now run by my son, Cloud Hire, we are probably valued at 50 million. We are looking to get that up to 200 million in the next 2 years, diversify that. And we are also looking to expand into some other states. Hopefully, we are looking at Gurgaon. We are exploring some opportunities there. So you'll see Dream India and hear about Dream India more often, I hope.
For sure, sir. Sir, it was a privilege of the highest order to have you with us, sir. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you. I mean, it's a privilege to listen to somebody speak from this experience. You have achieved so many things in life, and we get to listen to these conversations for free. And I'm absolutely grateful for your time and efforts, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, Furqan, thank you so much also. I love your table of wisdom. And when I got your invitation, I said, I have to come here, meet with you. You are such a young entrepreneur yourself now. Yeah, right. So I hope your podcast will be very successful. Not mine, but every podcast you do. You reach, great heights, inshallah. All the best to you. And thank you for having me as well. And I hope
so much,
everything that I have said would be of some help to our young generation.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. It is going to. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you.